What up? We live. We live.
You got to put it on your
It's
page
on my
so I can start
page.
shit.
We live. What's up, everybody? What's up, everybody? How y'all doing? Tap in. All the fans, thank you. Checking in with us. Having some technical difficulties, so y'all might see a different view today than y'all would normally see. I'm on my laptop. I don't know what's going on with my computer, but I got my bowl of fruit as usual, ready for another great night. I feel awkward not having all of my computers up. I don't know what's going on with my Mac. So what up, T? How you doing, brother?
Chilling, brother. Chilling. Trying to survive the grind of the season, bro.
Feel you. What up, Cuddy?
What up, Laser?
Laser, what's your team looking like? Y'all undefeated? Dennis. Laser 2-0.
Who?
Laser,
Oh,
undefeated.
Laser 2-0. The Roxbury Titans are 2-0.
Yes, sir.
My guy.
Laser run Northeast Mass, Pop Warner.
No, don't
Tell
do
me,
that,
Laser.
man. Why you doing my home like that, man? Come on.
Laser run it. What are you talking about?
Don't put that on them like that, dog. Not everybody built for that type of pressure.
Laser, tell him it is what it is, man. You run things out there. Ain't nobody stop you, Laser. I'm a believer. I'm a believer, Laser. Keep trailblazing, man. Anyway, y'all know what we do. Y'all know why we do it. Y'all know how we do it. We gonna change the intro.
Yeah,
But
we
for
got
now,
the
what?
throwback. You got the throwback look with the laptop. That's when we first got on. That look you got on right there.
Yeah, it is because my computer's still loading up. I don't know if an update came out. I think Mac released the update. But let's get to y'all.
I met a boy today.
That's me.
So fine.
If you know, tap in, share the post. It's your boy PH, aka The Press, aka Mr. Above
Come to my
140.
town and get with me. She love I'm around.
It's not about the amount of talent you have. It's 100% about the work ethic. Ask your coach or anybody that's been doing this.
I met a boy today. So fine.
Why is it? And they gonna say, oh, yeah, it's illegal. Cut this. Cut it out. All you coaches out there, cut it out. Because that's BS. It's PH, the Prez, Mr. Above 140, and I'm here with my co-host.
It's your boy Coach Career, the General.
Tito.
What up?
This past weekend was a great day of football at the big house, my brother. We had a
It started off great for us, and then
Oh, why? What happened, Tito? Tell me about it. What ruined your
I'm
day?
just saying, we had a couple bumps in the road on the back end of the day. That's all.
Maybe I should have go live from the big house and report, because I heard that what you guys went through at Annie Fisher was just as bad as the Groton situation, where they put out guns and was shooting and kids got trampled.
No, I was talking
I'm
about
not
the
really from
football.
the wait,
I ain't
Tito,
know
let me say this.
I was
I'm
talking
not
about the football
really
game.
from the trenches like you are. So if it was two teenage girls fighting, then to me it's just as bad. But I'm gonna let you talk.
No,
What
it's not.
happened?
First thing I was talking about. I was talking about what transpired on the football field, where there was
okay.
there was an upset, and then we had the Springfield and the Hartford 13U game. I was talking about that, but since we're going to talk about it, I mean,
No. I wasn't.
I find it
drawn
laughable.
into
I find it
something.
laughable. We're gonna get to the football part, but I find it laughable that we wake up on Tuesday morning, not even Monday morning or Sunday morning, after you gave your monologue, which I thought was one of the realest things I ever heard.
By the
I
way,
wake
it
up
went viral.
Tuesday.
Almost
Right.
10,000 views and almost 60 shares. But
I wake up Tuesday and see cats trying to compare the two, and I'm like, hold on. There's no guns drawn. There was no kids getting trampled. It was merely a teenage fight that started off with teenagers that was broken up in 3 minutes. We got that situated. And then, of course, what carried on had nothing to do. Things that carried on wasn't kids no more. It is my point. It was things beyond our level of comprehension that was going on. Once the cops was involved, it was all settled down and nothing happened. Nowhere near the type deal that happened over there. But people need to use our name. I keep telling you this. Cats got to say our name to be relevant. They got to do something to try to up their game, to get a following. So they got to shoot. They got to shoot at either me or you to try to get their clicks up. And it is just corny to me. It's corny because in reality, when we started this platform years ago, all these cats are in existence now because of us. They got their whole following off this platform. But then you want to turn around and try to compare situations. It's apples to oranges. And then it's not even like if it's a valid cat shooting at us, like somebody I would even deem sturdy. Like it's not even. God, I'm gonna let you speak your piece because I'm ready to go left on the whole situation, but I'm not.
I'm not responding to nobody that's not needed and wear dirty Pakistan suits. So Tito, let's move on to the next subject. Let's talk about the entitlement of that football parents seem to feel today. I'm gonna let you start and I will opine.
Well, yeah, we're in the age of every parent thinks their kid's a superstar because they think they're a superstar. It has nothing to do with their play on the field. I mean, now I'm not going to say we always get it right because we don't. We know none of us always get it right. But I think we're pretty close. You know what I'm saying? If your kid is not getting touches on his team or whatever the situation be, he ain't the top 15, top 13, chances are he's probably not. And you need to live with that. That doesn't mean that he can't be a good football player. It doesn't mean down the road he's going to not be a good football player. It's just in this current situation, he's not one of those guys. But this day and age now, instead of your kid having to battle it out and earn his way, we just park hop or we go to the next cast that promise you what it's going to be. And we go from team to team to team. And then that cycle continues through high school and college. And you see guys that have been to 4 or 5 different high schools, 3, 4 different colleges. When they were in youth, they played with 6 organizations. Then you want to know what's going on. I don't think so much the kids have changed. Like I said many times, I believe the parents have completely changed. And it changed our space for the worse.
Yo, Jordan, listen. I don't eat you, Jordan. If you had to do this podcast right after practice, what would you eat? Probably you got to grab something to eat it. That's
I don't even eat till after.
I can't wait.
Eat till after.
I can't wait. All right, so let me say this about the parents feeling entitled, dog. It's a culture shift on why parents feel entitled, right? I think a lot of the youth football game seem to be trying to mimic not even high school, but college. If you think about the business of it, the youth football parents are now trying to mimic the college game, not the high school game. So let's take in our the NIL deals, and let's take in all the money being thrown around. Now you have kids that will show up to your field and request a certain helmet if you want them to play for you. That's not the high school game, Tito. That's the college game. This is why Nick Saban got out, because Nick Saban walking and getting on. Shout out to Justin. Justin was at the game. Me and him.
Obviously, clearly, I was at the game, and unlike other people, I was right there in the mix of the melee. You know what I mean? Like, not even it was a melee; it was a bunch of kids. But you seen where I was at. I mean, I think it was blown a little bit out of proportion. The football games never got stopped at no point. At no point were the games affected by any of this behavior. All this behavior happened outside the fence.
Let's get back on track. But the game is mimicking college, and the brother Trevor says it's only a matter of time before teams start paying. There is people already
that have done it.
Let me tell you what I found out, y'all. I found out that during the All-Star game, I don't want to say no names. I didn't get approval. As a journalist, I got to show respect to people that give me information. A young man that played in the All-Star game came to me, and the team paid him. I saw this. Now, I'm telling y'all this. The team paid him between $800 and $1,000 to play for them. $800 to $1,000 to play for a youth football program. Now, I want you to think about that. I want you to think about that. You know what I'm saying? Paying a kid. So if the game is already there, we're skipping the high school game. We're skipping the prep school game even, Tito. Because let's be honest, prep schools are giving you some tuition money, and we've done tackled that. But they're also, Tito, maybe giving you a stipend, but Tito, they're not caking you up. Like, let's be real. Ain't no prep school giving Tito $60,000 for him to take back home to look out for his family. If I'm wrong, prep school people out there, let me know. Let me know if I'm wrong. Prep school's not doing it. So, Tito, we got youth mimicking college sports because that's what they see. So a kid will come to you, Tito, and say, I'll play for you, but, yo, you got to give me a speed flex, and I need a new visor, Tito.
Yeah, nah, I mean.
How much is a speed flex helmet out there, y'all? What is that?
500.
So, $500 for the helmet. I get you a visor and some cleats. Tito, I'm almost up to about $700. I'm almost up to $700 for a kid. So the entitlement that these parents feel is watching the game shift. The culture is shifting to a place where Nick Saban showing up on your couch don't mean nothing now. Kids would have died to have him on their couch 10 years ago.
All boils back to what I talked about last week. We got parents living through their kids, not only on the football part of it, but it leads to the other part of it where these parents be ready to pop for their kids when they kids, it's not going their kids' way. It's all part of the same vicious cycle. The parents are way too involved this day and age. They look at what's going on Instagram, social media, and everywhere else and think that's the way. And the truth of the matter is a lot of your kids that you guys are hyping up and putting all these videos out about, your kids ain't that. They're not. Like, if you talk to the real football coaches, we'll tell you who's like that or not. There's very few kids that are absolutely like that. It's not everybody. It's not. Unfortunately, it's not. We all weren't created equally. I know everybody thinks we were, but we weren't. We weren't created equally. Kids learn at a different pace. Some mature at a different pace. Some physically are way more advanced than others. some that are not physically advanced now in a couple years become more advanced. It's not an equal space. It's absolutely not an equal space. So when you because you think your kid's a superstar, the coaches and the staff may not feel the same way. That don't mean you take your kid and run and go to another program and things going to be better, because more times than not, you're going to go over there, it's going to be the same result because they're probably seeing what we're seeing.
So I agree with you. And it goes back to the question, right, that we want to ask for the parents out there, because this is gems for y'all from a coaching perspective. And not all coaches. We don't speak for all coaches. We speak for a certain subset of them if you watch the comments, right? Your sense of entitlement to the game. I would ask you, parents, reconsider your sense of entitlement that you have to the game. No, let me rephrase that. Reconsider the sense of entitlement that you feel to the game of football. That because your child is good, the game will never owe you anything. It's only what you put in, the work that your son put in, the work that your son is putting in the offseason, etc. So I had one of the top athletes, and I'm not going, you out there watching, if you want to say it was you, cool. I was talking to one of the top athletes in New England, mother. And she said, my son is often told he don't have to try out for all-star games. But I never, ever have let him skip trying out for any all-star game that he's ever played in. Everybody tell her, he don't got to try out. He good. She go, no, he going to be there every day. He going to do it. She said, you know why? I need him to understand what it's going to take to make it when it's a real dog team, when it's a prep school he want to play for, when it's a college he want to play for, or a high school team he want to play for, or a private school he want to play for. He's going to know what it takes, because they're not going to give him nothing. It's easy in youth football for her to say yes, Tito, and take the all-star thing.
What are you talking about right here, bro? I keep seeing her shooting. What conversation is she on?
I don't know if she's talking to somebody. King Crawford, Ryland Thrasher, Samir Kibbin, most explosive players. They are very explosive. Shout out to that mom. She might be talking in the comments. I don't know. She might be talking in the comments. I don't know. But Dita nice too. Yeah.
Listen, we could go on. You know, we don't, unless we got authorization from parents to use their kids' names, we don't do that. Now, we know some of those names, yes, are very good players. Very good players. Let's not make a mistake. But there's other guys out there too. Like there's a handful of them. It's not like every single kid is that dude though. Like it's just not real. It's not realistic. It's not realistic.
Hey, Bake, which All-Star game are you talking about? The All-Star game that she was talking about was not the Connecticut Youth All-Star game. She was saying in general, her son often get invited to All-Star games where she's told she don't have to try out. So what happens is she still make him try out. So
I think he's asking who runs the All-Star game. We run the All-Star game.
But the Connecticut All-Star game, we run it. Or he's talking about the one that we're talking about. So she didn't mention any specific one. Me and her was having the same conversation, Bake, about how parents want to skip the process because their child is good. And let's be honest. We might as well be honest with ourselves. This is our community. When a kid is good, there are there's waivers being made to allow this kid to get away with stuff that nobody
concessions. People is cutting deals. People
Yeah.
are cutting deals, and that's the sad space. That's the sad space we're in. That's all part of the problem of the space we're in right now. There's people that will do anything to get some of these kids, and it's not my way of doing things. It's not your way of doing things. As you know, with me, if you can't make practice consistently, we move on from you. I don't care who you are. Like my deal is you got to be at practice.
100%. 100%. Because that listen, parents, skipping the process will hurt you in the end. But I will be honest with you, parents. I keep looking at the wrong. I will be. Oh, my keyboard, my computer started up. I will be honest with you, parents. You will get short-term satisfaction skipping the process. I'm not going to hold you. I'm just going to be honest. You will get short-term satisfaction if you skip the process. I'm going to give you an example. You come to the Hartford Hurricanes. I say, you know what? Your kid don't have to try out for, not try out, but your kid don't, let's say, I say, your kid, you come to Hartford Hurricanes and then we do the Connecticut All-Star game. And I say, your kid don't have to try out because he played for the Hurricanes. Don't worry about it. He don't got to try out. I know tryouts is on Saturday and Tuesday, but just bring him on Wednesday. He too good. So he doesn't do it. Then you go, and I'm not talking about, I'm not even going to use nobody else. Then you go to an All-Star game in Mass and they say, you live too far. Don't worry about it. Just go ahead. You're good. You could just play. What happens eventually is somebody going to say to that kid, yo, you got to be here Tuesday. They're going to be like, nah, I can't be here. But when's the game? They're going to say, nah, that's not how it works here. He has to be here on Tuesday. Then you're going to say, Mom, can you talk to him? And home going to say, bro, I don't need to talk to your mother. If you're not here Tuesday, you can't play. That's when the short-term high runs out and the work starts. And so I ask all parents, even if you have an opportunity to skip the process because of your schedule, because it's hard, find a way to make your child go through the process. Any All-Star game, any local team, any sport. I don't care if you're the best player on the team and you can skip and they need you to win. Make your child show up. I'll give an example. I'm going to use this kid's name because I know his mom wouldn't mind. Yo, when Buck played for us, Tito, it was like us having, I think you saw a couple games. It was like us having Superman on our team. Buck was by far the best overall player we had on the team. We had some good players, but we had no player at the caliber of Buck on that team. He never missed a practice all season. Tito, we could not win a game without him. Wednesday had us down 16-0. In 5 minutes in the fourth quarter, we come back, we win. Buck popped 2 of them. Kept feeding them.
Stratford had y'all down that year.
Stratford had us down with the Twins. That's over at the high school, beating us. He pops 2, he win. And he never missed a practice. He set the precedent to all the other players. Now, if he's not missing a practice, the other guy's not missing a practice. And so through the process, become leaders. That's my point as well. When you make your kid follow the process, they become leaders. Different sport, but Tony Gwynn once gave me at a camp at 10 years old, told me to stay humble. There's always bigger, faster, stronger, and better than you, especially when you leave your neighborhood too.
It's the truth. It's
high school football will humble a lot of these all-stars or so-called dogs.
Here's why a lot of these kids that are youth phenomenons, here's why a lot of these kids that are youth phenomenons don't make it in high school. It's because of this conversation we're having of the entitlement of the parents. These parents that put up all these videos of these kids, they hide all their elements. They only show their positives. They don't show their flaws. When a coach comes to look at your kid that really knows what he's looking at, all it takes is you to look at a couple plays to see if that kid is like that or not. And if your kid don't meet up size-wise, if he don't meet the metrics size-wise, you don't have a shot. I don't think you guys realize what a Division I, Division II football player looks like when they're walking around. When these guys are walking around in the crowd, you know who they are.
Yeah, you do.
You know what I'm saying? You know who they are. Trust me, you know who they are.
When you see Tyler Booker at a
like
field
that,
in
you
Connecticut,
guys got to start being realistic and think, maybe we need to go to a trade school. Maybe we need to, it's cool to still play sports, but you need to think about the other part of these kids' lives. Because I'm telling you, if you're not plus 6'1", 6'2", it's going to be tough on your kid. I don't care who he is. It's going to be tough, especially now with NAIL, the transfer portal, the money that's being thrown around. You'll be lucky. Some of these kids ain't good enough to play D3. I know nobody wants to hear that, but that's the absolute truth. They're not even going to be good enough to play D3. So you guys got to come to grips with the fact you can do all the fucking filming you want and throwing highlight films up there. If you want an honest assessment about your kids, send me the film, and I'm gonna tell you if you're wasting your time or not.
We should do a segment like that one day.
I'm gonna be honest, because I see a bunch of parents doing it, and their kids are not like that. Their kids are not like that. Stop doing it because you're putting your kid in a bad spot. Your kid is not like that. If you're 5'6" and his mother's 5'5", find another sport.
Yo, listen. Number one thing a coach wants in a player, they are coachable. You can teach just about anything within reason. They want them to be coachable. That is true. Destiani, these are true facts.
It's a fact. Y'all ain't gotta like it. I'm gonna tell you the truth.
You can be an athlete, but if you're 5'7", you aren't going D1.
It's a hard reality.
Very rare. Kia said, facts, Tito. What sport at 5'5"?
I was making that. I said, just so we're clear, if you're a parent and you're 5'6" or 5'7", and your wife is shorter than you, chances are for your kid genetically, it's going to be very tough for him to be a superstar in football. I'm just being real with y'all. Y'all could think the rare exceptions, the Darren Sproles, the Michael Vicks, the Kyler Murrays, those guys are 1 in a million, okay? We all weren't created equal. For the most part, it's not happening for your kid. So stop with all the highlight videos and all that stuff and let his play do the talking. Give him an honest shot because you doing the talking ain't going to get him there.
So I'm looking up statistical data on the average height of a D1 player. This is
I would say 6'1".
This is basketball.
6'1".
But let's keep going. We can't make an assessment on kids in the youth level till they in high school. That's crazy. He's not making an assessment on skill level.
And I think after 23 years, I could tell you.
5'7" running back at D1 is possible. It is.
It is. That's the exception. That's the exception.
So is cornerback. I remember Daryl Green, but again, Daryl Green ran like a 4.340.
4.2. He had the record.
You had to have something crazy type of thing. You cannot beat genetics. That's true. D3 or NAIA.
And there's nothing wrong with that. D3, NAIA. If your kid gets his college paid for, that's what we all strive for. Is to get your college tuition paid for. I think we all lose sight of that. It don't have to be D1. He could go play at Nichols. And if he got his whole education paid for, it was worth every penny. And he gets into Trinity, Wesleyan, any of those small Ivies, you're going to have a network. It don't matter if you play football. Your network is going to be worth millions.
You can still go to school free, 5-3 for free. I think that's what Tito talking about now. Facts, Bake. For those that don't know, Chris Baker, y'all can see his picture right there. Chris Baker played at the highest level in the world. He was he played for the Washington Redskins,
Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I believe.
I remember Bake don't remember this. I remember when the Hurricanes didn't have a field, and rest in peace the ASAP Schwab. We did a Hurricanes fundraiser across the street from the hood. This was when Bowes Park was still projects. And Bake flew in from Jacksonville. He's playing for the Jacksonville Jaguars, I think, at the time. And he brought awareness to the fact that the Hartford Hurricanes had nowhere to play. The news came out. He talked to the kids. Sap talked to the kids. So, I'm thankful for that, brother. I still got the pictures from that event, and it made a difference because they actually built the field behind Andy Fisher, and that's what we was going for. The system they play in can determine that. I don't know, Greg. I got to disagree. I was having that conversation today. Oh, wait. Are you talking about a high school or youth? I'm talking about youth. Sorry. Let me not disagree so fast. Damon said a scout told me that they can look at a kid on the sideline and tell if he's coaching.
Absolutely.
Wow.
But, how you care. Body language could tell a lot. Body language tells a lot. You can tell if a kid's coachable or not coachable. Just watch how he acts for 20 minutes.
Me and Tito did say this ish. Real talk. D2 and D3 will be way more competitive because of the transfer portal, because those D1 scholarships.
Bro, the D1s ain't even looking at high schools no more. They're not even looking at the prep schools. They're going into who's not happy where they're at, and they're pulling those guys.
Get your foot in the door, Big said. Destiani, y'all about to have the short parents take their kids out of football. So no.
All right, hold on. I got a fun fact for you. I got a fun fact for you. Since people want to argue with me about size. Last season, the average starter nudged up to 6', 4.5", and 304 pounds overall. That's not a noticeable difference. Heading into 2023 campaign, the average starter for all 133 Division I teams in the FBS is 6'4.9", almost 6'5", and 308.9, almost 309 pounds. There has been an upward trend, but the change over just 1 year is statistically significant. You hear that? 6'5", 309.
That sounds way too.
Google
average.
Google
isn't there? Wait. Isn't
Google
there
it.
more? I'm not disputing their facts.
Google
I'm asking a question. Isn't there more cornerbacks? Are the quarter?
No, some of these linebackers you guys think are 6 feet. Some of these guys playing on the defensive side of the ball in the box 8. All those guys are 6'5", 6'6".
I'm not saying they're not, but I'm saying I would think it was a lot. It's a lot less linemen than it is skill. It's a shocking, I guess, for me to say it's a shocking thing to hear that the average height is 6'4". That's crazy.
You know when I noticed that? When Beatty brought us to Nebraska in 2010 for a coaches clinic. I went to a coaching clinic in Nebraska with Coach Beatty. When we went to go watch them
the average NCAA height, this could be all Division 1, 2, and 3 though, Tito. It brings it down a little.
I'm breaking down the FBS.
But
Power 5.
Still,
I'm talking Power 5.
Right,
even
but he's talking about all the college.
Right.
And if you think
Even
about it, that's
6'2".
still tall.
That's
6'2".
big, bro. That's my size, except I'm a lot more heavier, but that's my size.
Right. Isaiah said, I hope y'all degrade these kids with this statement. I understand.
We got to be realistic, though, guys. We got to be realistic.
I hope y'all don't, but it wouldn't shoot these kids' hopes and dreams. So I'm not sitting up here, and then Tito or nobody or none of the people.
I'm not telling you to stop dreaming. I'm telling you to be realistic as a parent.
What they saying is, listen, if I'm 5'11". If I had a son, which I don't, but if I had a son, I'd be realistic enough to say, okay, son, you're great at football. Parents, I'm gonna tell you what I would do. You don't got to do what Phil would do, and I'll tell you what I would do. I would start looking at statistical data of what kids my size, my son's size, about size they're going to be. We kind of know what our kids going to average out to.
Well,
and speed would play. Start getting them training at those positions. Now, have the backup plans. Make sure they get all A's in school. Make sure their education is right. See if they got a second sport, track, baseball, wrestling. They got something else in the tank that could get you the free education. This thing is about saving money. It's now a business.
It's a business.
If your child can save you, mom, dad, $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 a year over the course of 4 years, that will change the trajectory of a family tree, a family structure, versus going into debt $200,000. That can change the trajectory of a family tree. And so it's important that we think about it and talk about it and just give the gems. All these young men have an opportunity to go. Yeah. You just heard Bake say you can get free education. That's the goal. At 5'3". So I think these kids are going to reach over 5'3". The key is, what do they have expectation-wise, and what are they working at to make it happen? If you're 5'3" and everybody got you in a spread throwing the ball all over the place, the likelihood of you playing quarterback is low. Don't mean you can't transition later, but if you get into a high school set and they start running option with you, those offenses like that nowadays is low. It's not a lot of teams out there, so that's going to limit your opportunities. As well.
The average D1 linebacker is 6'2" and an average weight of 220 at the D1 level.
D3 will give you a full ride with non-athletic.
Absolutely.
You can spot a D1 athlete. Not every.
And I think, Louis, you're missing the context of the conversation. We're talking more so on some of these parents and I don't even know how to say the right word. They're delusional. They're delusional about the reality of what their kid is, and it has affected the space.
Wow, listen to this. I know my son was going through the recruiting process when we went to Oklahoma University, and the running back coach said, "What does your grades look like? And if you're not 6'1", I can't use you at running back." My son was number seven in the state of Oklahoma, and in the 200 in track, and he was 5'8", 203 pounds with a 4.340 time. These kids need a reality check. Think about those stats. That's
what we're here. That's what we're here trying to.
I don't even know if we have a kid. Do we have a kid in the state of Connecticut that run a 4.3?
No, I don't know. I don't know one.
That's
but
crazy.
I'm trying to be realistic with
I got you, Ralph.
We're trying to be realistic about the space. That if football is what you want to do, this is what you're up against. You ain't got to listen to me, but I'm telling you from experience and going through the recruiting process with my oldest son. Some of you guys are delusional. That's all I'm going to tell you.
Archie broke it down. He must have went and got the stats. Offensive lineman average 6'4" to 6'6".
Exactly.
Defensive line 6'2" to 6'5". Quarterback 6'2" to 6'4". Wide receivers 6 to 6'3". Running backs probably the lowest, like I figured, 5'10" to 6'1".
That makes sense.
6'3" to 6'6". Linebackers 6'1" to 6'3". D-backs probably close to the line. Running backs 5'11" to 6'1".
Bro, you got to be a 6 footer.
Even 6 feet.
You got to be a 6 footer.
Average cornerback is 5'11". And so, yep. Listen, this isn't to discourage anybody. If your kid out there and your parents got you watching, it's not to discourage you, young men, young women. It's not to discourage you at all. What is letting you know is look at statistical data and put your son in the best position or your daughter in the best position to win in any sport that they're doing. What's the point of all this? We here now. We have to let kids play their youth years out and let these parents decide what they're gonna do in high school.
That's not. See, you guys are taking. That's not what we're talking about.
Yeah, you're taking it wrong.
Talking about. Put the topic back up there so people can understand what we're talking about.
Listen. Go ahead.
Read the title, guys. We're just trying to prove the point why you shouldn't be entitled.
Right.
Correct. Because the reality of the matter is, after the youth game, a lot of these kids aren't going to be playing. So let's cut a lot of the bullshit. That's all the bullshit in between.
And if we can get the entitlement out there. So Matt, I'm gonna tell you what's the point. I think part of me and Tito, what we talk about when we do the podcast is to give gems to coaches, parents, youth, and everybody in the youth game, not just the coaches, right? And so the purpose of this conversation is to talk to these parents that do feel entitled when they come to play for you, Matt. That they feel like you owe them something because my son good and I'm bringing him to the New Britain. I'm a better running back than the running back you got. So what are you going to cut it me? And what we're saying is the majority of kids only got their youth years and some high school years to play football. Most of them, and this is statistical data, y'all, will never play college football. What is it? 3% of kids ever play college?
5%, not even 5%.
5% of kids ever play college football.
Maybe,
in these divisions.
If that.
And so what we're trying to say is keep them in youth football, enjoy the sport, put them on a track to be great. Concentrate on education as well as football. Concentrate on another sport as well as football. Give your kids additional opportunities to do what people like Bake and Tito and all of them saying is the goal is to give them free education. And for 90% of the kids or 95% of the kids in youth football, it ain't coming from the game of football. So that was the purpose, Matt, of discussing this because it's a podcast topic. That's all. All right, let's keep going. The best running back in college was 5.
The exception. He was the exception. Whoever that he's talking about.
How many 5'8" quarterbacks?
Kyler Murray's the shortest one I know at 5'10", 5'11". I don't know. I can't tell you.
Bake said I'm 6'3" and was considered average height. Wow. Okay,
All right,
let's
move to the next topic because people are getting emotional.
All right. Next topic. Tito. Oh, hold on. Hold on. Show. Nope. Hold on. Edit. I don't want to scroll. Save. Show. Everybody wants one big league, Tito, where everybody plays each other. It's all going to go well, and then everybody go back to their league, and without no Florida. And Trev brought it up, and I'm not making fun of it. I see it as a pipe dream. What do you say? And then I'll elaborate. Or I could go first. It's up to you.
And the problem here, and this is going to ruffle feathers. The problem ain't nobody else. The problem is us, the inner cities and the minority leadership. We can't seem to ever just everybody figure out what's the best cause to make things work. Because soon as you got to lay down the parameters, here comes the, oh, well, I ain't fucking with them, this, and that, and everything else, and you can't get nothing done. So, of course, it always sounds good because I've been talking about it for 20-some years, the Urban League, and how we could make it work. It all sounds good when you're talking amongst each other, but when it comes time to lay down the parameters, all the problems are going to start. All the problems are going to start. Oh, why he got to be in charge? Like just the petty shit. Instead of doing what's best for the overall community, the crab in the bucket mentality sets in and you get nowhere.
Yeah, I don't think look. See, when I saw this topic, I said everybody's going to say, see, that's why it don't work. Because the first thing they had to do was say something negative. The positive thing is we would be like a Fairfield County League, have multiple games, things going well, etc. We all know that, right? But the truth of the matter is it won't work, Tito, because we see what we do when we are in charge of each other.
Yeah.
Like there's leagues out there who have had leadership amongst themselves, and it did not work because they did not like to see someone else like them in charge. That's a bad psyche amongst us. I'm not talking,
right, but it's not a bad psyche. It's what we've been programmed. It's what we've been programmed to do, though. Systematically, it's what we've been programmed to do. It's what we've been programmed to do. Period.
I agree. And so what I'm saying is too many people don't understand. As soon as Tito makes a decision that the Hartford Hurricanes don't like, or let's better yet, Tito, what happens in these youth programs when a coach get upset?
Right.
He go to the next field and start a team down the street.
Right.
And now you want to start one league? It'll be split up by the midseason. Or it'll be another league identical to that league. Today, we are in a place where everybody wants to be somebody else. Everybody wants to do what somebody else is doing. I'm okay with it because the competitive thing makes me great. I love the competitive thing. But Tito, all of a sudden there were going to be new All-Star games last year when all of us should be working to make the current All-Star game better. If you start this one great league, when Phil get mad and Tito get mad and Matt get mad and Tyree Mosby get mad and Sam get mad and Chaz get mad, yo, let's start our own league. You got a team, let's call it, their league is called the Big and Good League. Ours is going to call the Fast and the Good League. Now we have a whole spinoff of the league we just had. Think about it. And Gil just said it best. Think about it. There's 3 youth football programs in Bridgeport, Tito. 3 youth football programs in Bridgeport. It makes no sense. It makes no sense. But what we need
That's
is
a fact. That's a fact, Damon. That's a fact. Because the people, and I'm gonna just come out and say, a lot of the people that want to be involved are professionals in real life.
That's facadocious, Shatia. Let it be known. I agree. What you mean? What when you say, are we talking about Gene regarding what? And what Gene are you talking about? But people will spin off and try to do something great. But babe, we're not talking about no particular person. We're talking about a thing. So what happens is you can't start a great league like that because there would have to be everybody would have to agree to box everybody out. Now imagine how hard that is. We would have to say, Tito, listen, when so-and-so tries to break off and come to your league, please tell them no.
Right.
PTYFL, Fairfield.
And here's another one.
Box them out where we're the only thing moving.
Why these leagues that are big and independent work, they're not allowing waivers. So in our world, you guys with all the waiver stuff, you won't be happy because the only way to make it work is we couldn't rape and pillage each other. You'd have to cut waivers, meaning you play for the town you live in, and there will be no waiver discussion. That right there, we will never get past that discussion. You already know how that would go. People will be crying, moaning, but this no.
Well, shout out to Sean. Sean, I appreciate you, brother.
Man.
Just a heads up. I wanted to say that. LJ said, can you pinpoint why these teams spin off? Yes.
Well, we know why. Yes. When a group of parents don't get their way, they have this wonderful idea. Let's go start another program. Not understanding what goes into a program. We've seen it happen many different places.
I'm LJ. I'm going to tell you why teams split off. In our culture, we are told that we're all bosses. The music tell you you're a boss. Everybody's a boss. You'll have a clique of dudes. Think about this. Or everybody knows somebody. You got a clique of dudes right now somewhere that you know, where it's 9 of them, and about 3 or 4 of them got their own record label, but they all hang together and rap together. Because everybody has to be a boss. Can't nobody allow the chief to play the chief. I remember Fat Joe talking, Tito, and he talking about how he understood the position of a soldier when Pun was around.
Right.
That he held the door for Big Pun.
Fall back.
He held the door for Big Pun and let Pun through the door before he walked in. He knew he was the soldier role, and he knew he had to be the soldier, and Pun was the chief at the time. And so he played his role, and he said he had absolutely not one bit of hate in his blood.
That's won't do that. In our community, that won't happen because they see. I mean, just look at all the grief we caught since we started the podcast. Look how many guys want to be us, not understanding there's really nothing that comes out of this but a bunch of grief. You know what I'm saying? Look how many cats that done came from us with something that means nothing in reality outside of that we push this culture forward. Look at all the grief it's caused us. Like, think about it.
I don't think people understand how much podcast beef we get. People walking up to you with attitudes, saying stuff. It's weird. It puts you in a weird place. Weird. We talk about that. LJ said, could that be curved by doing good business up front? No. LJ, is there anybody in the youth football community? Is there anybody in the youth football community that you will not do business with? Tell me that. Maybe it's not. I want to know.
You want to hear the biggest? You want to hear the biggest shit why it won't happen?
But
it ain't nobody else. It's us. It's our behavior. It's the way we carry it when we go to these other towns. Let's say you know you're going to go into a town and you're going to beat them by 20, 30 points, right? You go in there, instead of beating them by 24, 25, keeping it reasonable, we go in there with boom boxes, liquor bottles, weed smoke, hang 50 on them, pound our chest. We're the greatest coaches in the world. The coaches talking to the crowd, hey, look at me, you guys are sorry. It's never going to work because there's too many undesirable, low-character people in our space currently. Like, that's just the reality of the matter. You guys ain't going to like to hear it, but it's the truth. You're 20 years late to the game. It's no longer for gentlemen, and it's somewhere else. And can it be fixed? I don't know. But that's what we're here trying to talk about.
Is AYF Elite League in mass to start, or what were we talking about?
What?
Rodney, I don't know what you're talking about, Rodney. If you're incapable of
I think he's talking about mixed league. I believe that's what he's talking about.
It's AYF Elite. Rodney, explain a little bit more. If you're incapable of following, then you're incapable of leading. I agree.
You got to listen more than you can talk.
That's what I meant by too many chefs and not enough Indians, he said. Big Pun was also the best.
That has nothing to do with what we're talking about, but I get it.
Chris Bake said, pull up Saturday night, the Windsor High School, 095. They playing the Hartford Hurricanes. Chris, you sure you want that game? You sure you want everybody coming to watch that game, Chris? That's a big game, Chris. That's a lot to ask for. Just saying. Shatia's absolutely. Gigi said it's definitely us, and we are
1000%, Gigi. I think nobody wants to talk about that. We are our own worst enemies at every walk of this. There's a reason why the suburbs have shut us out, and honestly,
yeah, they did.
I don't blame them. I don't blame them for the way we carry it when we go into these places. We don't even carry it like we don't even carry it like if you're grateful to be there. We come in there and just make it so they never want to deal with us again.
People want to walk through the door and be handed the boss position because people don't understand that you have to put in work to be a boss. There's level to this. Pay your dues, build relationships, trust, boss position, etc. True.
Absolutely.
LJ, I can't say there's anybody he wouldn't work with. Dennis said 100. Rodney Meyer said yes. A lot of parents posting donut posts and never made a tackle.
Or the eyes, or the other shit. Like, bro, honestly, some of the ways to correct this, and then I talked to Phil about this. I mean, I think there needs to be all programs in the coach's code of conduct. There has to be a social media policy, and it has to be you either keep it etiquette professional or you can't be part of this league. Like, there has to be something like that in the coach's code of conduct, because social media is a big part of why this space has been ruined as well.
There's two types of people that get involved in youth sports. One, those who care about the kids and want to develop, mentor, and coach. Two, those who want power positions. That's why we never will be able to do one league, because with power, only care about the power positions and not making things better. It's more important to them to get the recognition and creating the best situation.
Yo, spot on, cuz. Spot on.
Tyree, bring the camera out to 095. Why not? Who cares about the suburbs shutting us out? We the culture when it comes to this football. But I agree with all the extra BS that it's not needed. So here's where you don't. I think you're missing a point. I ain't gonna say you don't understand. I'm gonna just say you're missing a point, Ed. Connecticut, if you count big cities, we only got around 7 or 8. That's it. 7 or 8 big cities. Hartford, Bridgeport, New Haven, Waterbury, Stamford, Norwalk. Let's throw in New Britain. For hypothetical, which isn't a big.
And then wait, then you get to East Hartford, the Middletown.
No, that's not big. We're talking now. We're talking.
And New Britain's not all that big. It's only 73,000.
We went from 120 and dropped 60,000 by the time we get there. So let's say 8. Edwin, the problem is that leaves the whole rest of the state to shut out 8 programs. If we carry the mindset, who cares if they shut us out? We can act how we want. We the culture, and so we actually need the others. Not in a bad way, but the others. We actually need the mid-tier. West Haven, the Stratfords, the Hamdens of the world, the East Hartfords, the Windsors, the Bloomfields. We actually need all of them to actually make a great culture in this game.
Danbury's a big city. Danbury's 100,000.
So
the Britain bumps out. Yeah, Danbury's a huge city.
The New Londons. We need those mid-tiers. And so New England is small towns, unfortunately. Connecticut is comprised of small towns. New England is predominantly comprised of small town football. And so we gotta find a way to bring them into the discussion and bring them into the conversation of participating with our youth. Because if they box our youth out, I'm telling y'all, it can get even more stringent now. I got a question for y'all. And I said this on my live. I said it when I posted. Do y'all notice y'all never see Fairfield County, Shoreline, CTYFL? Y'all never see these leagues ask for games, Nutmeg League.
They got full schedules, no buys.
Do y'all notice you never see the Nutmeg League West Hartford B team is looking for a game this week? Glastonbury or East Haven 13U is looking for a game. It's Pop Warner. It's AYF. It's Pop Warner. It's AYF. It's Pop Warner.
Let's talk to Gil. Gil, is there any holes in your schedule? Gil, ask Gil. Gil plays in Fairfield County.
Gil, do you have any holes in your schedule? Show them the Letterman jackets with the pins if they actually played. Phil Bryant, I remember telling you when we were in the CTYFL Wednesday Giants, we didn't have to deal with a bunch of the goofy stuff. That is true, D.
That's a fact. That's
Jamie,
a fact,
you told me that. You told me that 100%. Yes, Tito, the AYF Elite League in mass is what he's talking about. That lean sounds like a movement in the direction.
You better do the knowledge, cuz. That's all I'm gonna say. You better do the knowledge.
So because the thought is that we have a crab in the barrel mentality, we shouldn't try. Definitely try. I'm not against everybody trying.
You guys should try.
The meeting before, Tito. How did it work out?
Everybody had their own agendas, and nothing came out of it. We had the meeting with everybody in the room. As soon as it got to the real talk, now everybody wants to be a boss. It all boils down to the same thing. We can't listen until we can fix our behaviors at the organizational level and how we're carrying shit. We can't even get to the next conversation. We just can't. We need a long look in the mirror. We need a long look in the mirror until we fix some of these guys you're letting coach these teams and some of the bullshit that goes on social media. We are not the culture, because the truth is 80% of America's playing independent football. They're not playing national track football.
That's true.
80% of America. We are not the culture. So when I hear that shit, the culture isn't hooping and hollering and trading jerseys and all that goofy shit I be seeing. You know what I'm saying? And turnover chains and all that shit. Shut your mouths, behave accordingly.
Fire, ladies and gentlemen.
Let your kids do the talking for you and shut the fuck up. Like straight up. That's where we're at. You want change, you got to shut the fuck up.
Give Tito his flowers. He on fire tonight. Let's keep going. But let me show y'all something though. I want to prove a point real quick. Let me go back to Gil. Fairfield County, y'all. Fairfield County. That's a county in Connecticut. They got 17 teams at every level. 17 teams at every level. Y'all listening to that? Tito, how many leagues at AYF in New England got 17 teams?
Nobody, bro. Nobody. And some of those teams like New Canaan and them got like 4 fucking 30.
How many teams in Pop Warner got 17? How many leagues in Pop Warner got 17 teams?
Yo, New Canaan has 4 13Us or something crazy like that. Or some of those teams got 4 or 5 13Us.
Gigi said the mindset is also that we can't get along with each other.
No, it's not the mindset. We can't get along.
Is why youth football in New England is the way it is. I agree, Gigi. She's right. When he was young, he played in New Haven, West Haven, Seymour, Derby, Fairfield, Shelton, Danbury, Waterbury. Schedule is stay full. That's never gonna happen again, unfortunately. Coach Tito, relax, brother. Grade base teams help Fairfield County numbers. True. I am on Gil's coaching staff. We have a full schedule. Rob, what up, Rob?
And just to be clear, grade base cures all these problems that we have. Cures all the problems we have. Grade base will solve all the issues. And see, it's just like, and I ain't on one, because you niggas be talking like you know what you're talking about. You don't know shit what you're talking about. Like, this is the truth. Some of these problems could be rectified, but we're too stupid to see the truth. The truth is,
social media probably was reacted. Tito wouldn't have a platform. That's not true.
That's not true. I don't even be
He's
on
not
social
talking
media.
about social media.
Shut up, man. Get the fuck out of here.
Fairfield County had 2 different divisions. It was outrageous. Wow. Like a Division 1 and a Division 2 just amongst Fairfield County.
I heard enough.
Yo, I'm on the
Come to 095, we all get along. Bake up here recruiting y'all. Grade base, but age protected.
That's what it is. Grade base is age protected.
We need no high schoolers. 8th grade
Yeah.
only, right?
Right. Well, no. So if you're like if 8th grade, 14, 13, 12, those are the protected ages. 7th grade will be 13, 12, 11. 6th grade will be 12, 11, 10, and then down as you go. You get what I'm saying?
Oh, okay.
That's what age protected means.
Well, anyway, ladies and gentlemen, guess what time it is? Top 10 plays of the week. Tito, we had a lot of plays get sent in. I just want to say that these are the top 10 plays of the week. We're going to play them in a second. I just want to say there was a lot of... Hold on. See, this is I'm not on the right computer, but let me present, share screen, entire screen. I'm gonna share my screen. I'm gonna go here. Let's play it.
Get ready. Thing cocked back, top drop back, land pop that. Are you ready? Mine don't guap, you guap.
Number 10, Austin Brazinho says hike, rolls left. He's running, Tito. Running to the left. He's going. Down the sideline. That stiff arm was crazy. Chop, touchdown. Austin Brazinho. Tito, can you see this?
Yeah, I see it. That was 2 weeks ago. That was 2 weeks ago, though. But,
Oh, I don't know. I got submitted. Here we go. Bloomfield running back. Boom. Boom. Still rolling. Boom. He's still going. He could go all the way. That was about a 70-yard run. Ran through 3 tackles. Greg Pittman III, Hamden 8U at number 8. Here we go. You don't see him in the play yet. Tito, watch this young man switch hands. Watch this. Oh, he switched hands on him. Switch it. Higher tight, young man. Higher tight. There you go. Higher tight. Now get to the end zone. He switched hands. Shout out to Greg Pittman III. That was a beautiful run. JoJo Singletary, quarterback, linebacker, cornerback. I don't know what the kid played. I thought he was a linebacker, but now he had corner. Tito, watch the interception. Oh, the Milford kid. Got it. Bobbles. Wait. No, he didn't come down with that. That was an amazing catch. Shout out. Number 6, Miles Lumpson. Drake it. Tackle. Tito, watch this. Let me stop this, Tito. So this is the running back, y'all. The young man that's in this play is way over here. Tito, we don't talk about hustle plays enough. Let's watch this.
Around the other side.
He's going for a touchdown, Tito. Wait. Boop. Woo. I love kids that hustle. Braylon Riggins, the Reigns, Meriden 13U. Watch the play, Tito. He drops back. This was a big game. He rolls right. He looks somebody, throws. That's out of bounds. Wait a minute.
who's that match? Who's that, the match?
That was yup. No. That was to Reigns.
Oh, okay.
Good catch by the young man. And he looked tall too, Tito.
Yeah, that's a 6-footer for real.
Looked like one. All right, Brody Otage, Manchester 12U. He's moving to the left. This is at the big house, Tito. This was a big play. Taking their time.
This is the slant, right? Where you catch the slant?
No, I think it's a fly. It's a jump ball. Pitch and go. Balls in the air. Intercepted. Nope. There you go. 10, 5, touchdown. Good catch by the young man. Shout out to Manchester. That was a great catch. At number 3 again, second week in a row. Of course, we got King. And this, Tito, looks too easy. Watch this. He runs back. He runs. Watch what he do, Tito. I'm going to walk. Oh, I'm going. No, I'm going to walk again. Oh, I'm going to take off. I'm going to take off. I'm going to take off. I'm going to walk. I'm going to point. Go get him. I'm going to slow down. Then I'm going to pick up because the speed is just too much. That was about another 80-yard. I think he averaged an 80-yard return in the game. Madge Whitaker, wide receiver, you number 2. Watch the hitch. Oh! Watch this one. Gave it to him again. There you go. Now outrun him, young man. Outrun him. Outrun him. And Tito, look at this. Oh, the disrespect. Now watch this, Tito. After you score, Mads, what you gonna do with it? Dance. Number 1, Tito. JJ 6U Hartford Hurricanes. Watch the run. Young man is up the middle. Breaks 2 tackles. He's tackled in a group. JJ, you going the wrong way, JJ. You going the wrong way, JJ. Oh, wait a minute. He turns back around. He's going to the end zone. And Tito, what do JJ do after he scored a touchdown? He gets gritty with it, Tito. That's your top 10 plays of the week from the CT Youth All-Star Game. It was a beautiful thing to watch. I had a lot of them submitted, Tito. I played what I could. I thought that was a good thing. Those were some top plays. All of them couldn't get made, but we did play the top 10 plays of the week, and that's what we did. Yeah, that's what we did. So, Tito, after all of our discussions, I don't only want to be a person that talks about what's wrong with our culture, right? And so I think we must talk about what could we do to fix it. And I think this is kind of where LJ was going. What could we do to fix it, and what can we do to make it better?
You want me to go? Or you going to go first?
No, you go first.
Well, I mean, it starts with our behaviors. And I'm not saying, put it this way. When I go to practice, before the game, I never show up to a practice or a game under the influence of anything. After the games is different. I'm off the clock. But before the games, I'll never show up under the influence. I'll never show up not in my natural state. I never show up coming in with the hooping and hollering. You don't see me just like the clown that said, if social media, whatever. You don't see me on social media hooping and hollering about what my team is and this is going to do. My team show up, they play football, and the discipline matter. You don't see them hooping and hollering until we correct the way we act and how we're approaching this game and what we're supposed to be doing for these kids as far as development, teaching them how to become better adults and all of that. Until we correct that part of it, I think there's no hope for our future. Until we put the boom boxes away and all that shit and let the kids do what they do and let them be the show and put the show emphasis back on them, I don't think there's no fixing it.
Hey, Bake, you're not baiting me into what you're trying to do.
Nah, yeah.
No, he's trying to. No, he's playing a hurricane.
I see what he's
trying
doing.
to get
We're
me.
not doing that. We're not doing that.
His team.
We're not doing that.
Chip on their shoulder.
Right, because
I'm not giving it to you,
if
Bake.
it don't go that way, there's gonna be a bunch of emotions after that too.
No, Bake,
Yeah,
I ain't
you
giving
ain't
that
doing
to you. I seen you try to go. Oh, y'all gonna blow us out?
No, she's right. Absolutely, there's coaches that be drinking because this thing has turned about the coaches and not about the kids. It's turned about everything else but what it's supposed to be about.
Shout out to my boy Wes. Wes is a real one. Holding each other accountable. When we see each other, we pull someone aside to have a genuine conversation with them. That's the way we have to be with each other if you want this space to thrive, continue, and get better. True. I had a couple people pull me aside that it's not. I don't like using the word beef because when you really y'all know what beef is. For those that know, that's from. It was more like it was something there. You know what I'm saying? And it's people I done pulled aside. We done pulled aside, and we talked about it. And you know, I mean, it ain't about nothing. So if it's light, like, you know, if I ain't, you know, hindering nobody right now, and they ain't hindering me, you know, you move on. You have a conversation, man to man, and you make it you make it not about nothing because it ain't even major. Y'all don't want to play us after that L. Nah, man, Bake. It's on the schedule. Y'all be good. But listen, Tito, so my assessment of what we could do to make it better. Wow. I did a live, Tito. So Tito, let me tell you something. I'm going to get back to the big house real quick. At the big house on Sunday, you know, there was only one 8th grade fight that happened at the big house. There was no other fights there. There was arguing, but there was one
one
great fight for like 30 seconds. But I found out on Sunday, Tito, my daughter came to me. I got a 14-year-old daughter. I love all my kids to death, but I love her to death. And she said, Dad, they were planning this fight on Instagram under your flyer. On social media, the kids in the neighborhood were saying, yo, let's just go to Annie Fisher. Hurricanes got the whiteout. Let's go there. And so one girl was like, yo, I'm gonna fight you, and you saying I'm gonna fight her. So bait, that's what I'm talking about. It was little girls. It was two little girls. They fought. It got broken up. It was all police was there. When I went to the police officer, I didn't know the police did this. I went to the police officer truck. I said, yo, they fighting. He said, I'm outnumbered, so there's nothing I can do. But I will drive up with my truck and hopefully the lights make them go away. I thought police jump out, but it's smart. I didn't know. Nowadays, that's a smart policy. I didn't think about that. But nonetheless, when I talked in my video, Tito, and I mean this to everybody out there, I talked to the parents of these children. When I found that out, I woke up at 7 a.m. Me and a couple coaches, we drove back to the hood and we cleaned up our own community. Cleaned it up, Tito. And I went live. I ain't really have nothing to say. I just knew I wanted to talk. And I started talking to parents, to us. I'm a parent, you're a parent, to us. Y'all on this chat, y'all parents. I started talking to us as parents saying, we have to be better parents so kids don't do that stuff on social media. My daughter planned to fight another girl and put it in writing on social media and say, Dad, drop me off at some location with 5 of her friends.
Or 10, yeah, like you sure already knew.
I just let them go? Not my children, bro. And so I was saying to myself, where's the parents to these little girls? Tito, you was there. There was like 50 8th graders and 7th graders and 9th grade. That age range between 11 and 13, maybe even young. Like
there was a car that dropped off 10 girls.
Yeah,
that was the antlers. The sensors should have went off at that point. If I'm the parent, I'm not. First of all, I'm not dropping my kid off anywhere with multiple people unless I'm going with them. Like, and especially in Hartford at 8 o'clock at night. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, Gil, we know that every league has their issues with fighting and all that. But the problem is we get stigmatized by it. So we got to be more careful than the others. Let's be honest. Our community isn't going to be held to the same standard as other people. We have to accept it. At our jobs, minorities may not be held to the same standard as others. You have to accept it. And within the realm of accepting it, you got to overcome it. That's what I'm saying. But I'll get back to what I'm saying. And so I spoke to the parents and said, parents, let's do better. Now, Tito, I liked the fact that Tuesday you said that something hit the internet talking about us and should they do podcasts. So, Tito, I didn't look. I'm not friends with these people. But people send me stuff. So I got inboxed a bunch of comments. And for the people that was under the comments, I saw it. And I like people to keep the same energy. But there was one particular comment, Tito, that I wanted to address. It was from a young lady named Katrina. I don't even remember the last name. And she said, oh, where's their letter at? Tito, let me tell you something. When you really do community work, I'm talking to her and anybody out there, you don't write letters. I requested a letter. I requested a letter during their event because they're not built like that. Tito, you know what I did? I called a community meeting yesterday, stood up in front of our parents. I asked them to hold themselves accountable and to hold us accountable so we can hold each other accountable for our community. Even when the kids aren't ours, when you see somebody drop a bottle, you ask them, pick that bottle up and put it in the trash. That's the discussion we had in our community as a group, about 50, 60 parents out there yesterday. That's how you handle situations. You talk to your community. It ain't easy work. it's tough. I didn't sleep Saturday night. Not that nobody was injured. It was light. Actually, if you from like you said, Tito, you from it. So to you, that's light. But to some others, I saw somebody say a woman said she was traumatized. I'm not here to tell.
That was them throwing gas, green light.
I know, but
that's the corny shit.
but
There was
let's
no
just
guns
put it in
pulled. There was barely even punches thrown. It was a bunch of pushing and shoving and kids being kids. Now the adult confrontations, that's something different. But even that didn't go over the top. It was just a bunch of hooping and hollering. There was nothing that happened outside the kids that got into the scuffle.
But cleaning up your own community is hard work. And so what do I think that'll help it? I think the community parents, along with the coaches. I don't just want to put the emphasis on coaches, because a lot of it is we only got these kids for 2 hours and they're going back into some very, very toxic environments, Tito, where mom is dropping the kids off. Mom, like you said, any parent dropping 10 girls off at an event like we had. Tito, it looked like an all-star game.
I got a teenage daughter, and I don't bring her to these events. I told you I don't bring my kids to these events for simple reasons. The space ain't the same as it was. It's me, I can handle it. Something happens to one of my kids, that's just adding layers to something that don't gotta be. And forget my daughter telling me, "Oh, can you pick me and 5 of my friends off? And could you drop me off at Hartford at 8:00 at night?" Absolutely not. It's not happening.
Absolutely not. It's not happening. And so if you look at, and I employ everybody, go to my page and watch the live. Take an opportunity, go to my personal page, watch the live. It's like 5 minutes or whatever. And I flowed. I didn't have no paper. I was walking around cleaning up the field because the kids on Monday had school at Annie Fisher. It was trashed, and me, Tito, and John was the last ones to leave like 11 o'clock at night when the lights went out. And I went to the police officer. I said, "Fellas, I'm going to promise y'all we will not leave our community looking like this for our kids in this school to show up that Monday morning. I'll be here at 7 a.m. I couldn't sleep that night because I was so mad. Then even more mad to find out people assisted children and dropping them off. These kids did not walk. Dropping off droves of little young ladies to show up so they can have sprawls, playing on social media. Now, maybe they manipulated their parents, but we still got to be accountable.
Still, who's dropping their kid off? Like I said, it's just me and you, regular middle class folk. Are you dropping the lady off with a group of friends?
She wouldn't even ask me that. She won't even. My daughter
it's like, are you crazy? Like, what are you talking about? Without me? Oh, if I'm going, yeah, we could go. We could all
my daughter won't ask me that. And so my live talked about us and how is it that we can better the state, the culture. So I'm long-winded. I'll get to the point. So my point is this: the way we make it better, we got to kill some of the beef amongst the coaches. Now, I know what y'all gonna say. Somebody out there right now is writing, "So won't you do this with this person?" Understand what I'm saying. When I say kill a beef, I mean there's certain people in certain positions that would need to work together to better the space. Everybody ain't in those positions, and we gotta accept it. Tito don't have to work with the assistant first year 6U coach out in Danbury in order to make the culture better. They're not there yet. But Tito should definitely work with Phil, should definitely work with a league owner, should definitely work with somebody, those in position of relevance now to bring the culture forward and ask those under them to help. Now, those people will not always be the same. That 6U coach will eventually be in position. But he could be a soldier today, like we were talking earlier. He could be a soldier today and a leader tomorrow. Then that's when Phil, Tito, the league owners are gone. Next group, they up. If we can accept those roles, I think we can make a difference. Now, the meeting I had with my parents, they was all like, "We agree." Ty Garbage is up against there. Anything we see out here, we asking to hold people accountable. Soon as we start seeing droves of kids off, we make it phone because now everybody's on the same page. Our community is going to work together to make sure stuff happen. I'm telling you. Shatia said, Phil, just open up a charm school for coaches because you working on miracles over in Hartford. I'm trying. Listen, we got a good thing in the city of Hartford. Listen, Tito, let's be honest. The atmosphere in Hartford was one of the closest things to the All-Star game.
Oh, no.
Or that old West Haven game and Springfield game that we put on.
When I said the bump in the road, I wasn't even talking about the nonsense. I was talking about the upset, and I was talking about the 13U game. I thought we was going to talk about football, but everybody.
Well, let's talk about that, Tito. Let's get into that. Okay, this was what everybody want to talk about. Let's be honest. Everybody's here to talk about the upsets at the big house. Now, let me say this, Tito. I'm not sure. Starting with the 13U, I'm not sure Springfield beating us was an upset.
It was an upset. I think 11 and 12. 11 and 12, in my opinion, were upsets. I didn't see that.
Right.
I didn't
But
see that.
listen, I want to say something about Springfield. They showed up. It was all love. I never played a Springfield team. I never even housed one at the big house against us before. We did house Justin. That was based on a personal relationship. Me, Justin saying boom, boom, boom. But this was the first time we was inviting somebody in that I didn't even know. Me and the head coach had talked. They was all genuine. It was all love. Their kids was safe, never at any harm. And I think they was genuinely appreciated that we put on a venue, that the crowds was rocking. It's junk talking, but that's crowd.
There was thousands of people there. Like I told you,
it was a dope environment.
You know where me and my crew be at. It's the same spot all the time at the top of the hill against the fence. When you look down into the field, there had to be. I mean, there was standing room around the whole perimeter of the fence.
And cars,
no place to park. No place to park. There wasn't an atmosphere like this. I mean, the All-Star game gets like this, but you'll never see another U football, just regular season event with this type of atmosphere. And it was a beautiful thing until the teenagers got involved. And even then,
but let's get back to football. Forget about it.
It didn't end all badly. All badly. But what I'm saying is, just to see that many people there in one place was a dope.
And Springfield brought it. They played well. They played cordial. It was nothing dirty. We had the marching band from Springfield, but leading the Hurricanes in. Like it was a dope day. And so I want to shout Springfield out. I've never played them, housed them against a Hurricane team. You hear things, but I want to say Springfield, y'all always welcome to play any Hartford team because it was all love. It was gritty football, and that's what we on. We on it like that. So the grind, the grit, the tough talk, the all the football, and like all of that, we with all of that part in the game, hitting hard, wrapping up, clapping, and going back to your huddle and talking your junk. We with all that. So that was cool. And it was a great environment. So shout out to them. Now let's talk about the 12U game. Manchester Redhawks upset the Hartford Hurricanes. I was shocked. I didn't get to watch the game. Y'all know, end of the night, Phil's picking up trash. So I got to eat crow, Tito, because I think I said there was no way, I might have not have said it like this, that the Hartford Hurricanes would lose to the Redhawks at the big house. It seemed like they came out with a purpose. They came out aggressive. They were, I think, overly aggressive on purpose, but I think that was the coaching to try to make them, you going into a rough environment, you got to be tough. And so I think some of that played into it. And so I got to shout out, the Manchester Redhawks for pulling it off because I didn't think that they could pull it off. And I know that they had some thoughts that we would try to sweep it under the rug as if we ever do anybody.
Well, I'll give you my synopsis of the game. And I told you this right after. The difference in the game to me was Manchester was able to be patient and take those 3-4 yard runs. And, Hartford was playing for the big play. And I think in a game like that, when you're able to beat on somebody, even if you're only getting 3 yards, eventually it works in your favor. You get what I'm saying? Instead of playing for the home run every time. You know what I'm saying? If you're able to matriculate the ball, eat clock, do all of that, those are all things that play into you winning a tight game in a hostile environment. Being able to run the football in between the tackles at that. So I think that a little bit of that was where the difference was in the game from what I see. And Manchester had the ability every once in a while to hit a play action pass and gash the defense. So, you know, when you're able to run the ball, the play action pass opens up. You know what I'm saying? So it was a mixture of things.
Yeah, it was. And so, you know, I want to shout them out. They did well. I will say this to the Manchester Redhawks 12U team. We played the last 2 years in Manchester. The Hurricanes beat you guys and you did not score. We shook your hands and we went off the field. You guys ran onto the middle of our field, ran down to the fence, took a stake and stuck it into our turf. You will have to keep that energy for the duration, and that's where we at with it. On a football level, it's war. Next year, if y'all not retired, oh, you better know that it's gloves off. Because I didn't say anything at the time because you look like a sore loser when you say something in those moments. Everybody wanted me to say something. I said, you know what? I always been a firm believer in if you don't want it to happen, you don't lose. So to the 12U staff, hats off. Y'all coached a great game. But forever, every single coach on that staff, whenever you play a Hartford Hurricanes team, is up for you. We are playing is all-out war, and all the antics are okay. We ain't say nothing when you do it. Don't say nothing when we do it. That's got to be the rules of the game. One of the best youth football games, though, from what I'm hearing, that went on in a long time. Probably as good as the game that happened.
Bro, it was 6-6 in the fourth for like 4 minutes.
Yeah, it was electrifying. And I'm gonna tell I had to have a conversation with my Hurricane parents and tell them we take the middle stands. So from now on, when you come to the big house, there's going to be signs that the middle stands is the home team. We're not but Tito, you had New Haven 12U with Manchester and New Haven crowd with Manchester, New Britain Junior K's with Manchester. So it was like, bro, I'm like, yo, we outnumbered at the big house. Like, wow. It was a banging game.
It's not that we
enjoyed it.
Not that Hartford be outnumbered. It's, you know, all of us, the natives, be at the top of the hill.
Yeah,
we don't be over there. So it's not like they're never outnumbered. It's just that we.
You know what I meant by outnumbered. It sounded like we was at an away game, at a high school away game. But if I could replay that game all season at the big house, I'd do it. I love the crowd. So thanks for Manchester coming out. And just for those people who don't get what I'm saying, I ain't beefing with Manchester people, okay? It's not beef. I got no problem with them personally. But football-wise,
competitive.
God,
competition.
I want to go next year, right now. I wish it was 2025. I did not like that. My people did not like that. I can tell you that. But they did it, and we let it go, and that's it. We don't got a hammer, Bake. We don't even have a hammer. They brought the hammer out against us. So when y'all play Manchester week 8, you tell them to bet the hammer. Because y'all going to see each other in the championship more than likely. I'm calling it now. When's the Manchester 12U championship for Central? Anyway, Tito. So, yeah, it was an upset. Then let's talk about the 11U. Hurricanes got 4 touchdowns called back. I don't say that to say Manchester didn't earn a game. Let me finish my monologue before y'all start going crazy. I'm not making excuses. There was absolutely no way I thought Manchester would beat the 11U. I didn't think they would beat 12U, but I thought 11U was a wash, though. We had won every game up until that point, right? 6U put up damn near 40. 8U put up, I think that was a good game, 8U. 9U, we played Milford, put up big points. You guys put up almost 30 points. And then we got the 11U, and we just dropped the last 3 games. The 11U was a shocker to me as well. I didn't see Manchester 11U. I heard that they
saw him the week before when I went to
wrong.
scout. I saw him the week before when I went to scout the 10U, and they're a big 11U. They got some size. You know, I thought that obviously I would think that Hartford, we would have had the speed and the athleticism, but I mean, I went to lunch for that. That's the game I went for lunch real quick with my kids.
And
I
drove. I went to get more hot dogs and hamburgers and something.
I didn't get to see that game, but when I came back and found out they lost, I was like, damn. I mean, I did see the kids the week before. Their 11U is a nice size 11U team. Got about 20 kids, and they're nice size.
So on the whiteouts, West Haven lost, Hartford lost, Mount Hope lost. Next year, homecoming's the blackout. We went all black. All black, baby. No more whiteout. I'm throwing away all white uniforms. Only gonna wear them down in nationals. Anyway, Tito, yeah, it was a good day. At 10U, your boys came out in the second half and completely dominated and put the game away. I left to get burgers. That team is getting better. They're understanding football a lot more. And Manchester is a good 10U team too.
No, they got a couple dogs.
They got dogs. They got a lot of talent. Jose is working with a lot of stuff over there.
Dogs.
And I applaud him for going down there, reloading. He's going to be in the champ. He's going to.
Yeah, no, that kid's going to be tough to stop at D2. He's going to be a tough out for whoever.
Yep. Division 2, 10U, Manchester. I'm telling y'all right now. Remember we said it. Manchester Redhawks at Division 2.
You don't got no more topics, right?
We do, but we're going to end it because it's 10:30. Anyway, it was a good night, everybody. What y'all think? We didn't get into too much BS. We ain't go bake.
I do want to address the referee situation, but
All right, go ahead. Talk about the
I already went on the rant.
No. Go.
No, but I mean, I think all of us collectively, we gotta hold these refs accountable because of the things that are going on with the rules they're making up at game day to rush themselves out of there. They're just taking your money. They're just taking your money and not giving you the service they paid for. Number one, quarters are supposed to change at the quarter. Every quarter, you're supposed to flip ends of the field. Don't let them tell you, oh, they're going to get confused. No, this is all for them to speed up their process. Take your money and get out of there. Number two, you got to be on top of them with the time. They're running the games on you, and you guys are just taking it when you're paying for their service. Number three, they're sending us unqualified referees. I can tell you 3 situations that happened on Saturday, and I pointed one out to you on a fourth and whatever. We got the first down. They thought that it was okay for them to decline it and them get the first down. I said, if they decline it, we get the first down. Where they do that at? You know what I'm saying? And then push us all the way back and don't give a fair explanation because he didn't know the answer to it. The bottom line is we got to hold them accountable like we do everybody else. They want us to act better. They got to do better as well. Like the reffing this year has been atrocious. And they're just taking people's money, running your days because we're doing these 90-minute games, which is a mistake because they're putting that in their head and saying, you know what, let me speed through the game. They're rushing your book process, which they don't have the right to do. I mean, it's been total chaos, at least from my perspective. I don't know if anybody else is having that problem, but I'm definitely, team I'm associated with is having that problem.
Same problems with the refs at AYF and Pop Warner. Breston said no one wants to ref anymore. Yeah, I think I'm going to go back to 2-hour games. I've been scheduling games an hour 45 minutes, and I'm sometimes feeling like they're seeing that schedule and trying to keep up with it, and I may be rushing them with my time. If I'm taking,
yeah, but this been going on. I told you I noticed this in the spring a couple years ago when I hired a certain set of referees that you deal with too. I'm not going to say who, and they didn't understand the rules of the spring.
You know that, right?
Oh, my bad. They didn't understand the rules of the spring, and they thought there was fall rules. And I'm like, no, it's 12-minute quarters, and you don't get the right to stop the game when you rush the game when you want because there's no mercy rule in the spring. So and I think mercy rules are a part of this. Like, dude, you practice with your kids all week because you want to play a 2-hour game, especially in a situation like mine where we got 30 kids. We got NPR issues. We need every second of the game to make sure that we're hitting our quota with the NPRs. Like, we have to get them in the game. So when they're rushing the clock on you, that makes that difficult. Now you got your starters not playing, and that starts a whole nother problem. Like, it's just bad all the way around. And I don't know how we're going to fix it, but I think it starts with, these guys, we're paying them for a service. They need to give you the service you're paying for. They should never worry about what the score is. That's not your problem, what the score is. Your problem is to ref the game fairly and accurately. That's what you need to concern about. Stop worrying about what the score is and what you got going on after this. Earn your money the right way. Stop stealing people's money and rushing people out of there because you want to get out of there or you don't feel safe or whatever the case may be.
It's your boy PH, the Prez, Mr. Above 140. Yo, Bake, I'm going to give you what you want. You ready? This weekend, the Hartford Hurricanes will teach Windsor and Bloomfield Pop Warner why we are considered the program. Just remember that. And it's your boy PH, the Prez, Mr. Above 140. And we stumping the yard this weekend. Oh, our 9U got the number one team in the region, Stratford. They're really, really talented. Really good kids. We'll see that game soon. Anyway, Tito, it's your boy PH, the Prez, Mr. Above 140.
It's your boy Coach Career, the General, next week.
Yo, listen, let me tell y'all something, man. There's only 3 setbacks in life, and that's health, death, and jail. Other than that, if you wake up and you got breath and you alive, ain't nothing no setback. It ain't worth beefing with nobody. It ain't worth going back and forth with nobody. None of that is setback. Remember, health, death, and jail. If you can get those 3 things going for you and you're not in dead, obviously, you got good health and you're not in jail, whatever you going through, you can make it right. And this your boy PH, and I'm going to leave y'all with that. Peace, love, and hair grease. See y'all Sunday.